Today we're diving into one of the most talked about, most misunderstood and most surprisingly influential military technologies in the world, Israel's Harpy drone. You may have heard analysts mention it on the news. You may have seen headlines calling it the flying hunter, the silent killer, or the drone that terrifies military experts. But what makes it so shocking? Why do so many countries treat it with caution? And how did a small wing-shaped machine become a symbol of a new kind of warfare? Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Let's break it all down in a clear, simple and fascinating way. To understand why the Harpy drone stands out, we need to look at how modern militaries have changed. Not long ago, battles were fought by tanks, jets and soldiers on the ground. But as time passed, advanced sensors, radars and electronic defenses became more important than raw firepower. Wars became less about heavy weapons and more about who could control the airwaves. Whoever could blind the enemy's radar could control the battlefield. This is where the Harpy became a game changer. Israel developed the Harpy in the late 1980s, during a time when radar-guided weapons were becoming a serious threat. The idea was simple but brilliant. Create a drone that doesn't just monitor radar signals but hunts them. A drone that can detect a radar beam, lock onto it, and fly directly at it like a guided arrow. But here's the twist. The Harpy doesn't return home. It's a loitering munition. That means it can fly for hours, circle patiently over an area, and wait for an enemy radar to activate. Once that radar switches on, even for a moment, the Harpy dives with extreme accuracy. No pilot, no radio link, no hesitation. This design changed the rules. Instead of attacking a radar with a missile from a distance, the Harpy is the missile. It thinks for itself using pre-programmed targeting. And because it flies silently and low, it's extremely hard to detect. Military planners worldwide quickly realized one thing. A single Harpy could shut down millions of dollars worth of enemy equipment. That's why experts say it has a psychological impact as strong as its physical one. Imagine being an enemy radar operator. You know the moment you activate your system, even for self-defense, something could already be above your head, locking onto your signal. That constant tension is something experts say changes behavior on the battlefield. But what really terrifies analysts is not just what the Harpy does, it's how early Israel mastered this concept. Today, we talk about loitering munitions from many countries, but Israel was decades ahead. When other nations were still experimenting, the Harpy was already fully operational, refined, and exported to multiple allies. And here's another layer. The Harpy doesn't rely on a satellite connection like many drones today. It can operate in areas where GPS is jammed or communications are blocked. That makes it incredibly reliable in electronic warfare environments. As we follow its evolution, we find another surprise. The Harpy's newer versions, including upgraded models, don't simply destroy radars. They can monitor, analyze, and choose the best moment to strike. They can loiter longer, fly further, and operate in more complex environments. Some even return home if they don't find a target, something older loitering munitions couldn't do. So why does this drone get so much attention in military circles? Because it represents a type of warfare where patience and precision matter more than brute strength. A single drone circling quietly above the clouds can affect how an entire army behaves on the ground. Another interesting fact. Analysts say the Harpy doesn't just impact offensive strategy. It changes defensive planning as well. Countries must now think twice before turning on long-range radars. They must redesign air defense networks so that no single radar stays active for too long. They must train operators to constantly move, hide, and shut off systems to avoid being targeted. The Harpy, without firing a shot, forces the enemy to play a different game. Even more surprising is how the Harpy influenced global drone development. Many nations, seeing how effective it was, began creating their own versions. This trend sparked an entirely new category of weapons drones that act like guided missiles, but with a brain. And while newer systems get flashy headlines today, experts still mention the Harpy as the drone that started the revolution. Of course, discussions about drones often raise big questions. How do you balance technology with responsibility? How do countries ensure these systems are used carefully and within international guidelines? These questions continue to shape the debate today. especially as drones become more common in global security planning. But one thing is certain: drones like the Harpy changed expectations forever. If you're wondering how something so small can have so much impact, here's a simple way to understand it. The Harpy doesn't just attack machines, it attacks confidence. It attacks certainty. It forces military planners to constantly second-guess their decisions. And on the battlefield, doubt can be just as powerful as firepower. Let's imagine a scenario to bring this to life. Picture a tense military standoff. One side activates a radar just for a moment to scan the sky. They think it's safe. They think no one is watching. But up above, miles away, a Harpy has been silently circling, waiting. The instant it detects that radar beam, it pivots, dives, and begins its final approach. The radar operator has only seconds to react. In many cases, by the time the team realizes what's happening, it's already too late. Now imagine this happening across multiple sites, across an entire region. That's the kind of strategic pressure the Harpy creates. But let's be clear, our focus here is strictly on the technology, not the politics. The Harpy is part of a wider trend in modern defense systems, and understanding it helps us understand where future technology is headed. As we wrap up, the lesson is simple. The Harpy drone didn't become famous because of size, speed, or firepower. It became famous because of its purpose. It was built to think, wait, and strike with precision at the heart of enemy defenses. And its success inspired a wave of new innovations that continue today. Whether you see it as brilliant engineering, a symbol of modern warfare, or a warning of what's to come, one thing is undeniable. The Harpy changed the way the world views drones. If you enjoyed this breakdown and want more deep dives into advanced technology, make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and share your thoughts in the comments below. Your support helps us keep creating powerful, informative content every week. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.